in your rivers, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let it all go now. We are live. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching that little standby screen with our new song called Released. It is out right now. But yeah, we're in the building. We're in the Lion's Den. It's Tuesday night, so you know we do the live stream. If you're just coming in for the first time and you've been seeing the clips and stuff on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot, hit that like button and share this video. But we're gonna get into some current topics going on tonight. So check us out. You're watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
Yeah, we are here, and you're watching Young Lion TV. Listen, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Emma in there, one of the Young Lions. Thank you to Theris, who already sent some stars in. Another Young Lion in the building. Pat Massey said, excellent band. Thank you very much. Yeah, make sure you guys, if you're watching right now, hit the like button and share this video, please. It's the only thing that kind of helps us because the algorithm does not like our live stream. We get a little love on the reels now. We get a little love, but the live stream doesn't get no love. So if you guys want to help us out, shout out to Jess in the building, Lisa, Sloan, another Young Lion. Thank you for joining us. Again, hit the share button. Let everybody know that this is live so we can get a discussion going. We talk about some serious topics. For those that don't know, this is the Young Lion podcast where we are just a group of friends and family, brothers, guys that grew up together.
Brothers and our mother.
Yeah, and our mother. And we talk about, things that are important to us. We talk about things that we've experienced growing up. We talk about things that we've read, things that we've discovered, things that we've learned along this journey of life that we've had, and
growing together.
Yeah, growing together. And it's all centered around culture that exists now and trying to change culture and move it in more of a God-centered world, because we are Christians and we do believe in Christ and we follow Christ. So all of our stuff is centered around our belief in that. And so if it's something you want to get down with, make sure you guys support it. We also have a Patreon if you want to become a member. You can go over to patreon.com/YoungLionTV and become a member over there. Sign up for whichever tier you feel applies to you. Also, if you want to just donate to the cause, we have a Cash App. It's just $YoungLionTV. And that just helps, keep the lights on and keep all the cameras and the wires and stuff working because they got to be replaced all the damn time. But we appreciate
people don't know how to wrap it right.
Yeah, you got to learn how to wrap cables around here. But we appreciate those that have been supporting. We love you guys. And shout out to anybody watching on Rumble. If you're watching on YouTube right now, we appreciate each and every one of you. But I got with me this evening my brothers on the other couch. First, we got my Asian brother.
I'm not used to being on this side.
I know. Does it feel weird? You're not next to me right now. You're all the way over there.
He's next to me.
Yeah. But he is the Asian brother, the coolest Asian in the world. And he is Mr. Moon Jae.
What's up?
Say hi to the people, man.
What up?
Hi to your wifey watching right now, man.
Really?
Yeah, I saw she said hi in the chat. And then, of course,
He didn't deny it.
No, he didn't.
No, I did not.
And then I got my big brother, but he's everybody's big brother, and he is the preacher, the teacher, the people reacher. He is Mr. Jacob Eugene Evans III.
And Simone's got on.
Simone is rocking the merch, man.
He's wearing the 4th.
He's wearing the 4th. That's right.
Yeah.
This is actually my favorite shirt. I love this
that album
design.
cover.
Yeah,
We got to bring that back. Like
me and Jake worked on this.
A little better color.
Yeah, we do a reprint. I think
Yeah.
the new merch store might be able to bring it out a little bit better.
Yeah, because the shirt is cool, but like the picture itself, it turned out so good.
Yeah.
The way you know.
That is my favorite album cover of ours.
Yeah, I
That
love
is
it.
from our EP Back to Life.
And who is this on it?
That is Jacob Elijah Evans the fourth. And
We call him Jakey.
yeah, we call him Jakey. That was when he was like what, 3 years old?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Two or three.
Yeah.
But we you know, we do things. We try to get artistic with our stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a cool little idea. We did a photo shoot with him. And
We're never on the covers.
I know. Because we did so much of that in
Yeah.
our early careers,
Yeah.
where it's like, you know, the boy band on the cover
Right.
with the serious look and the outfits. It gets old.
Yeah,
it gets
it's
old,
corny.
and it feels
It's always
awkward.
awkward.
It feels
Yeah.
disingenuous.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
so cliche.
I love it. Like I even our video, Who Am I Love not being in it.
Yes.
It's just
It's a
a
story.
story.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man. But so if you do want to get the merch, I forgot to mention that as well. We have the Young Lion shirts. We also have mugs and hats and all kind of stuff on there. You can hit the merch store. That link is in the description. But we also got to give a shout out to the greatest producer in the world who has been holding us down for a while now. It's been like, has it been a year yet, Mom?
No.
Not yet? Well, she is the best producer in the world. She is
Are
Miss...
you trying to click the?
Mm-mm.
What?
I just got to it too late.
What happened?
Nothing.
Okay. It is Miss Angeli Lopez.
I have Young Lion TV. Look, I said Young Lion T-shirt also.
Yeah, Young Lion T-shirt. That is one of the other designs.
Yep.
We have a few designs if you guys want to support the cause. Everything good over there?
Yeah, it seems like it's having a hard time focusing on you.
Really?
So I gotta have the screen on to make
Okay.
sure.
Shout out to Theris, sent another 100 stars, and she said, "Hey, lady," to you, Mom. She said, "Can't wait."
Hi, Theris.
She said, "Can't wait for the live podcast."
Thank you, Theris. She also said earlier, she said, "Hello, family. I pray that all the fathers in the room had the best Father's Day." And Uncle Moon, congratulations on the new niece. Hey, Mom.
That's all of our nieces.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was responding. That's actually Stan's baby, so you know she's all of our nieces.
Yeah. Shout out to, and that's why Stan's not here right now. Of course, he just had a new baby. So shout out to one of our Young Lion brothers. Stan's got a new baby girl.
She's beautiful.
She is beautiful.
What's her
man.
middle name? Camilla
Camilla Jade.
Jade.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? Camilla Jade.
Yes, and it's a blessing, man. Truly a blessing. Another girl in the family.
Yeah.
So a lot of girls.
I need one.
Hey.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Father's Day was cool. Everybody had a good Father's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was chill.
Quiet.
Quiet. My mom knows what my Father's Day was like. I was spent hours looking for a passport.
I was hoping
real?
you.
Yes.
You couldn't find it?
Not my passport, someone else's passport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it was like panic again. You know what I mean? Because we
Y'all leave in
in a
few
couple of days.
Yeah.
And you know, it was a panic for the passport. Shout out to Jake Cope, said what's up, y'all. Yo, happy Father's
up,
Day,
Copes?
brother.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, man.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was my Father's Day was cool. Other than that, I had a good soccer game in the morning, and then had little issues with the passport, but got all that worked out, and it really didn't do nothing. Liz was working, so I just chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
too.
came to visit you.
Yes, you did, mother.
Came
and
to
you
visit
gave me
me
a
too,
great
Mom.
card.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mom.
Oh, you're welcome.
I just chilled. Grilled some ribs. You know.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, well, let's get into some stuff, man. Again, please, guys, hit the like button if you're watching right now and share this video because we're going to get into some stuff that's been getting banned from other platforms. So first thing I want to talk about is there's a lot that's been going on with Robert Kennedy, RFK Jr.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have been seeing, like, he was on Rogan and he was talking about a lot of serious topics, and he was on Jordan Peterson, and he's starting to gain traction. I got this article here from The Hill. Can you pull this up, Mom?
And he's running, right?
He's running. Yeah,
He's
he's
running.
running as a Democrat.
Yes.
So RFK Jr. holds a 15% support in the Democratic Party. They were just polling, which is it's a problem for Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah.
That's a high percentage
Joe Biden.
right now. You know, so we got a guy that can't talk and a guy that has trouble talking.
I'm glad you said that because I have a hard time understanding him sometimes.
Who, RFK?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he had some kind of issue with his voice.
At least when he talks, though,
It's making
Yo,
sense.
it's coherent.
Yeah.
And he's a Democrat talking like that.
Yeah. Well, which is why a lot of people are upset about the things he's saying. They're trying to silence him in
Yeah.
a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That was the other article I was going to pull up. So YouTube removed the interview that he did with Jordan Peterson last week.
Mm.
They totally took it down. They said it was for vaccine misinformation, which I'm sure they
How
would have
they-
did to Joe Rogan too.
How are we
They're
still on that?
Yeah.
With all the evidence that's come out, how are we on vaccine misinformation still?
Dude, they are not letting go of that.
Yeah. It's like a pride
They're
thing.
gonna fight for their lives.
Pride.
They're not
Yeah.
gonna let
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that other dude that I know you mentioned Joe Rogan? Like, did you see the Twitter exchange between?
Yes.
What's his name?
So we're
The-
gonna
the-
get to that next. The dude Hotez.
Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Hotez.
Peter Hotez.
Yo,
Yeah.
like I watched a video actually of him just talking about get the vaccine, even though kids should be okay. Get your kids to do the vaccine. You're only going to need 2.
Is
Now-
it
now-
is it this video?
that we're not hearing a lot
Yes,
about
it's-
is
yes.
the unique potential safety problem of coronavirus vaccines.
And then something changed.
Any vaccine released by emergency use authorization by the FDA is an outstanding vaccine.
J&J's vaccine has a risk.
First of all, dudes that wear like bow ties and stuff, it's always
Bruh.
kind of gimmicky, right?
Exactly.
Like-
You know what he reminds me of?
What?
Like, look at me, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm a scientist.
Bill Nye the science
Bill Nye
guy.
the science guy.
Yeah.
When you're not even a real scientist.
So I just want to show, because you might not have caught that at the very beginning. This is him talking on before about coronavirus vaccines before the pandemic.
One of the things that we're not hearing a lot about is the unique potential safety problem of coronavirus vaccines.
And then
So you now 'cause-
During Trump.
Now this is when Trump. So because you
Right.
remember Trump was when he was first talking about like, oh, we're gonna Operation Warp Speed,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get the
gonna be the greatest,
the vaccine,
best.
the best. But they were all saying, I'm not taking that. This
Exactly.
is impossible.
Our
it's never gonna
president-
happen.
Yeah, our vice president, all of them were saying
Yeah.
they're not taking it.
Yeah. And then something changed.
changed.
Any vaccine released by emergency use authorization by the FDA is an outstanding vaccine.
J&J's vaccine has a risk of life-threatening blood clots.
When you hear the beep, that's the sound of safety.
So don't overthink it. They're both really good. They're all really good vaccines. Get vaccinated now.
you gotta call now.
If you wait, it's going to be really too late to protect your child.
If this was your child, what happens next could make it the worst day of your life.
So even though COVID poses zero threat to healthy children,
Vaccinate your children.
Do the right thing. Be safe and not sorry.
I'm strongly recommending for adolescents to get their 2 doses of vaccine and fully immunized after those 2 doses.
Advanced
You're
technology
fully immunized after those 2 doses.
that can help save lives.
This is going to be a long-lasting vaccine. A long-lasting vaccine.
A few moments later.
We're seeing that 2 doses is not holding up well for emergency room visits. It's not holding up well for hospitalizations.
Here we go again.
Everyone's going to need a booster. You need that 3rd immunization.
Triple the amount.
Get that 3rd immunization. The 2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. The 2 mRNA.
It was always a 3-dose.
Always.
I thought the 2 doses was gonna just be long lasting.
Vaccines were always a
Just
3-dose vaccine.
lies.
I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine.
The
This a
gaslighting is
3-dose
real,
vaccine.
But I'm not done yet.
That 3rd immunization, the problem is it's not holding up. So we may have to look at sort of innovative solutions.
Oh God, not this again.
A fourth immunization, just to keep them going, keep the country going. We have to consider some out of the box things. A fourth immunization, a fourth immunization. Get that second boost, a second boost to keep the country going. I've made that recommendation. A fourth immunization.
But I'm still not done.
1 semester later.
Unfortunately, the numbers are starting to trend up again. So the hospitalizations are up. And so the most important message that I have this morning is get your new bivalent booster.
Willie and Lise were saying they got their
at his
booster,
hair.
and I was like, oh, I need to get mine. And then I found out they're talking about the third shot. And is that the bivalent, or is it the fourth booster, or does it matter? Like,
Don't worry so much about the number of.
There's no wrong way.
Don't worry about the number. Just keep getting them.
Bivalent booster.
Just keep getting them, buddy.
The new bivalent one is doing a much better job. You have to get a booster.
Yeah.
You need to get this new bivalent booster. That bivalent booster for COVID.
But does everyone ages 12 and older need a booster?
The answer is yes. Yes. And by the way, if you're over 50 and have gotten 2 boosters and more than 2 to 4 months out, you're going to need a third booster as well, a fifth immunization.
5.
I don't think we're going to need an annual booster like flu.
Where's Fauci?
Dr. Hotez supports yearly boosters, just like flu.
But I'm still not done.
It looks as though the boosters are not holding up quite as well as we'd like. And I think our thinking is going to change, and that what's going to happen is every few months we may need another
So now,
booster.
not yearly, every few months.
Results each and every.
So and it keeps going. It keeps going. So
I see.
You can see how much. You don't think that this dude's credibility is tied to dying on this hill? Like, this is what he does.
For what reason?
He's a vaccinologist or whatever.
Yeah.
Like this is what he does.
Yeah.
He has like a history in the gain of function stuff too.
Yeah, he does. He's tied
So,
to that.
So
the Twitter exchange you were talking about is he came out and was talking crap on Joe Rogan he basically said how is Spotify allowing whose phone is that? Is that mine? Oh, that's mine. He said how is Spotify allowing these neo-fascists to talk about, like, he basically called them neo-fascists.
Yeah. Wasn't he on Rogan?
He was. I got a clip of that too, because that video went viral months ago because Rogan basically made him look dumb on there.
Yeah, so he's talking about RFK and Joe Rogan.
Yes. So
but then Rogan tweeted at him.
And he said, yo, I'll give you $100,000 to the charity of your choice to come on and debate him. If you think there's so much misinformation being spread, come have the debate on my show. And, he danced around it. And then all of these other people started joining in like, yo, I'll add 100. Yeah. It's up to like 2.6 million right now.
Wow.
And
you won't do it.
He won't do it. And then you get all these other people that are, just so on that side of things that are basically saying like he shouldn't do this. Yeah. Why would he do that?
Entertaining the circus or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what somebody said. Like you're an expert in this field. You don't need to, entertain the circus.
Part of the science is if you're such an expert on this and you think RFK is spreading misinformation or misinformed, you should be able to go in there and dismantle him.
Exactly.
Yeah. And show people why this is important.
Make people that are on the fence about this, that are worried. If you believe your side is, true.
That's why it's so disingenuous, because we've created these places for experts to
Trusty
live,
experts.
Where, like you said, they're trusted almost like they're gods.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people don't think they're gods, but when you're going to the doctor and they tell you something and you just accept it, a lot of times, and you don't research it, you don't get a second opinion. Like, these doctors are trained in a certain way, and I'm talking about honest doctors. Like,
well, that would if you go to if anybody wants to see that clip, it's on Twitter. It's hilarious. Towards the end of it is where all of the people from news media are praising him. And basically telling him, thank you for coming on and giving. You're the only one. You're the bastion of hope we have. Like, they're praising this guy.
Yeah.
So you don't think that that's feeding his ego a little bit? And let me show you guys this clip of what happened the last time he went on Rogan, which is probably also plays into which you can tell this was a while ago because that's the old studio.
You take care of your immune system in other ways? Do you take probiotics? Are you cautious about your diet?
I'm not as cautious about my diet as I should be. I'm a junk foodaholic, actually.
Well, that seems like a terrible thing for your health.
It is a terrible thing for my health, and something my wife is working on.
But that seems ridiculous for someone who works with health.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, man?
Sometimes, man, I just don't get it right.
How often?
What?
How often?
How often do I steal a bag of chips or something like that?
How often do you eat garbage?
I don't know. No, hopefully not every day, but
hopefully not every day.
Yeah, maybe a couple of times a week.
Oh.
That's what with Rachel, my daughter with autism. That's like our thing is to go to the it's called the burger joint or to Shake Shack to get a cheeseburger. We'll sneak some fries.
So you
living large, we call it.
Like that mouth pleasure so much, you're willing to sacrifice a little bit.
I
of health.
am. Yeah. I have to concede that's the case.
Well, there's, I don't have to tell you, but there's a large body of data that connects poor diet to a host of diseases.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a crazy decision for a guy in your line of work.
There you go. Sometimes it's not all brain. It's it's something else.
But if you ate healthy food, the thing is, your body starts craving healthy food. You start feeling
no
positive
question,
results.
no question about it.
Do you take vitamins?
I don't take vitamins.
Really?
Yeah. I don't
wow.
think they do. I don't think they're needed because most in the American.
Hold up. You don't think they're needed while you're eating junk food?
Well, hopefully I'm not only eating junk food.
Okay,
right?
but there's a large body of clinical research on the efficacy of vitamins, especially vitamins D, vitamins B.
I have taken vitamin D for periods.
So you don't need vitamins, but you need all the vaccines and boosters.
Yep.
Because he's one of the guys that, get your kids 40 shots before they're 4 years old. So
even though it's 0.00002 that they would be affected by COVID, when they're babies.
Yeah, man.
But you still need to get them, jabbed.
But not even just COVID. It's even like, did you guys see the circumcision video I sent to y'all?
I watched that. I actually watched that a few weeks ago.
I never even realized that the vitamin K thing was taken to help babies with blood clotting.
Yeah.
So they don't accidentally bleed out.
Yeah, me neither.
You know what I mean? Which makes perfect sense to give that, especially to boys, if you're gonna cut them in a day. You know what I mean? And how the body naturally starts to be able to handle those type of cuts on the 8th day.
Yeah.
Which is when the natural circumcision is done.
Right, which is another thing God got right.
Yeah. But it's just funny that, like, this is something that they just do. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. But it's tied to whole another industry. Like, it's just...
Yeah,
all of these things that we just do without questioning.
It's normal here.
Yeah. And then you got goofballs like this, like I'm sure he is a very knowledgeable guy.
He seems very smart,
but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have an agenda as well.
Exactly. I would not take any health advice just by looking at him.
Yeah. That's what the point of why Joe was asking him that.
Joe was
coming
at
that's
it,
why
boy.
That's why I was like, are you dieting? You look at the dude and you know he's not dieting.
He's coming at him a little hard to be on.
Well, he's lying about the vaccines. Why don't he lie about his diet? He could say, "Yeah, I've been eating healthy."
Maybe he believes. Maybe he doesn't think he's lying. Yeah, but so
every once in a while, there's nothing wrong with eating burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
So this Joe Rogan challenges Dr. Peter Hotez to debate anti-vaxxer RFK Jr. on his podcast, and this article goes into basically what we were just talking about. Because everyone has a lot to say on Twitter. So come talk about it in person. You're the expert. Come talk about it.
Yeah.
And come debate it with someone who's going to challenge you. It's easy to just say things to people that aren't going to challenge you. Go on MSNBC and CNN and just get praised for telling people to take the 20th booster shot. You know.
Now I get it though. Like that video you just played. Of that interview. He's salty about that.
Oh, absolutely.
He made him look like a fool.
But then look at the difference between him and RFK. RFK is like, is he almost like 70?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how old RFK is.
I think he's like...
He looks fit, though.
I think he's like late 60s. He's in shape.
Yeah, dude is fit.
Yeah. So, you know, it's an interesting story unfolding. It's funny how as he's starting to poll well, he's doing interviews with people. He was on PBD's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Jordan Peterson's. He was on Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was on Tim Pool's as well. I think he was on there too. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think he was. But yeah, like he's making the right moves, you know, as opposed to the guy who they're saying they won't let him debate him, you know.
Yeah.
The DNC is saying no debates for the Democrats. No one's going to get to debate Joe Biden.
Did you see what
I didn't know.
I'm sorry, Pat Messel said?
What'd he say?
I didn't know that.
Did you guys see on CNN that my guy Trump is thinking about dropping out of the race because of the legal problems he is having, which is bad because we will be in serious trouble if DeSantis is president. Me and my girl would move out of the country the day he is sworn into office. It will be
the end of our country.
Yes.
Man, I mean, that's a little black
that's
pill for me. Like, I get what you're saying, like, because I do believe that a lot of the stuff that we're seeing now happening to this country, if Hillary had gotten elected, this would be so much more accelerated right now.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying.
I mean, look how much has happened since.
Yeah,
Biden.
just in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
crazy.
It is crazy
how all these agendas have just multiplied and accelerated, you know.
But I
think
DeSantis though, I think it's starting to. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that believe DeSantis is.
He's in cahoots with the.
He's an establishment.
Soros,
he's an establishment guy. He's taking a lot of money from certain people. You know what I mean? So, I get it, but I wouldn't say that we know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about Trump saying he's
I
dropping out.
didn't hear that either.
Me neither.
I did hear about Hunter Biden. About to plead guilty. Pull this up, Mom.
With weapons charges.
Did you hear about this, Jake?
No.
So Hunter Biden to plead guilty to federal tax charges and strikes a deal on the gun charge. Of course he did. That's why he's pleading guilty. So Hunter Biden, the son of President Joe Biden, will plead guilty to 2 tax misdemeanors and struck a deal with federal prosecutors to resolve a felony gun charge, the Justice Department said Tuesday in court filing. So you guys remember we told the story probably back when it happened about how he got caught dumping a gun at a school or something like that, and it was a gun that he got while he was. So on the form it says, are you legally purchasing this weapon? Are you under the influence of any narcotics? And he said no. And it's a felony to lie on one of those applications. So he said no, and you know everyone knows that he was on crack.
On crack with the weapon.
Yeah. And
dumping it at a school.
Yeah. Like and they actually used the Secret Service to go retrieve the gun and like cover it up for a while.
Wow.
I forget how this got out.
Those are the only charges against him?
So yeah, the tax charge. So dude, this is the thing. So the tax evasion charges, it was something like $2 million in taxes that he didn't pay. He owed at least $100,000 federal taxes 2017, $100,000 in 2018 that he did not pay. I forget where I was reading it, but it was, I think in total it was like $2 million in taxes. So, you know, the double tiered, the dual tiered justice system is at play here, because you see the juxtaposition of what they're doing to certain people, people that walked into a building per se, you know, that were let in, and how they're being treated. And then this guy, you know, he can get away with whatever he wants.
What building? No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
But That's why I posted that clip on our Instagram story about where they were showing Hunter smoking crack next to the clip of his dad saying, "If you're caught with a piece of crack the size of a quarter,
get 5 years.
You get going 5 years in jail. The judge has no say over it. Not for his son though.
Right.
Nope.
Not for his son. Yeah.
Actually, I think they're just bringing this up to cover up everything else.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing.
Yeah. This is just to make it seem like they are
some type of justice
doing something.
Like they're trying to be fair judicially. So meanwhile, while all that's going on, I don't know if you guys have been seeing these clips of, and there's a lot of speculation. I don't know what's going on, but there's been a lot of military movement into the cities. Have you been seeing this?
Mm-mm.
So this is in
Philly. A lot of helicopters.
This is in Philly.
Wow.
This is in Philly.
What is this about?
Yo, come to think of it, I did see those big helicopters with the big.
Yeah.
I saw one.
What are they called? The Apaches or something?
Yeah. I saw 2 of them.
Yeah.
I saw one flying near my house.
This is
what's going on?
This is
other cities.
California, I think.
I'm also seeing other reports too of other military action happening in other places in the U.S. So this is the video, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Those right there.
Yeah.
Those.
They've been all over the. Yo, there's mad cities where military is just coming in. And I'm seeing all these speculations on what it is. I don't know what it is, but I'm not gonna speculate.
Yeah.
But something's going on. So I think that was California. I think. Hold on, I got another clip. Yup. This is. Bringing them in on train. Bringing in. What are those? Are those Bradleys?
Is that Bradley's?
A whole. That's like a whole train.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. And there's way more clips. Like there's so many clips of people posting videos of Apaches coming in, tanks coming into their city. So, and it's not just in America. It's in like Canada. It's in Mexico too. So I don't know.
Aliens? No, I'm playing.
Independence Day. It's almost July 4th. I don't know.
I'm going to Stan's house.
I don't know. So in other news, we can figure out. We'll everybody keep an eye out for what's going on with the military. But we don't know. But just be praying.
Yeah.
Be vigilant on staying in the word because things are getting weird. So Andrew Tate and his brother are finally charged.
They're indicted, right?
They got indicted. They got arrested today with rape, human trafficking, and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women in Romania. Influencer claims trial is about stealing my wealth. So that is also happening in the news. They finally got indicted and are going back to jail. They're going to have to stand trial. I don't know. Do you guys think this is?
They called it though.
Yeah.
Like, Tate talked about it before. Like, they're coming after him. But to me, it's like he usually when you do something like you're a gangster dude or something like that, you do things on the low.
Yeah.
He is like loud as heck.
Right.
I think that they try to pin this on him and. Now it's like they have to prove, so they're trying to get them for something.
It's on such a world stage now that I think they feel like
Romania's got to do something.
They feel pressured to produce something because if they don't, then it just makes them look bad. It makes it because he's been going on all these podcasts talking about how it's trumped up charges, it's a matrix attack, so that's just making them feel like we got to get this guy.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays
out. That's
out.
how I feel. I'm not saying that he's like he did all that. Got the girls to do the sex stuff.
He did the webcam business.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, he's not perfect, but the thing is, Trump said it. If they can get him, they can get anybody.
Yeah.
They can get all of us.
If they can get Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they could give if they're if he did something, we don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say that a lot of the stuff that has leaked when it comes to the text messages,
it seems like
the surveillance video that the police didn't want to come out, but it leaked.
Yeah.
It seems like something. I mean, right now it seems like there's way more evidence that this is some kind of witch hunt.
Yeah.
But we don't know for sure. I will say that. But when you see the text messages and you see the fact that these girls were pretty much admitting to plotting this out, and then you see them in the CCTV footage being able to come and go as they please with their cell phones. It just doesn't make sense to the story they were telling. Maybe there's something else that they're being charged on that's not exactly that. We never know, but we'll see what happens with that. Just thought we'd bring that up because it was news of the day. All right, let's see what else. Anybody in the chats?
Oh, did y'all hear that about the patient zero?
Yes,
thing? They found who patient zero is. What was
and it
his
was
name?
a scientist at the lab.
Yeah, Wu or something like that. His name is
Wuhan.
No, it was something like that. What was his name? I don't know. I
Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing. Some Chinese name. Wasn't Chang.
You sounded real racist.
Somebody on YouTube said it's Wu. Shout out to Ashiko Moxie on YouTube and Anti-Conspiracy Channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I didn't see you guys because we was looking at the Facebook chat. But yeah, he said Wu.
I thought it was Wu.
Okay.
I didn't even put that together. Wu.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so he said DeSantis is a rhino and plays his part well. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people think that about DeSantis, man.
Yeah.
What I don't like about he because they're doing the political game now. It's like they're coming at each other, and he used that. What was that? That deep state thing with Donald Trump. That video. But his campaign never denounced it when they found out that it was.
Yeah.
That to me is come on, man.
Yeah.
Y'all supposed to be on the same team.
And it's I hate when I see people playing the political. Well, let's see how this plays first, and then I'll come out and make a statement.
Right, with the Trump being investigated, he waited to play his card.
Yeah, I respected what's his name, Vivek.
Yeah, I like that.
I respected him more because he came out right away and was like, "Yo, this is wrong.
Yeah,
we have never done this to a former president.
Yeah,
this is clearly, a witch hunt." And he came out right away and said that. Didn't even waste no time.
That dude is smart, yo.
He is.
He's smart.
He is, and he makes a lot of good points.
He does. I don't know if he's strong enough to has a following.
You think middle America conservatives are ready for an Indian guy?
I don't know.
They're I can't even say his name. Vivek Ramaswamy. How do I vote for that guy? No,
I don't know. I like him though.
That's why it's got to be about character.
Yep.
And it's hard. It's hard to see that when people are playing a game.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That was the thing with Trump. He kind of puts it all out there.
Well, I think Trump was the guy that pulled the curtain back from the Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Everybody else is playing this game. They all know
Yeah.
They all know it's a game. They're all playing along.
Yeah.
And they're just keeping the ruse going for the rest of America that goes out and votes for them blindly thinking that it actually matters, you know. And Trump kind of pulled that veil back a little bit and everybody was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know.
He makes it easy to see where he stands on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the vaccine thing, we don't agree with it, but it's like, you know, it makes it easy to see. Like, all right, dude, you need to rethink this a little bit. You know,
your ego won't. Just like Hotez won't let him admit. You know, he'll die on the hill of everyone needs to get vaccinated on their 20th booster.
Yeah.
Trump is gonna die on the hill of, you know, it was the greatest vaccine. You know,
Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah, because he feels like that was his big accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know, everyone said it was going to be impossible and he pulled it off, which he did pull it off. But what he pulled off was $1 billion deal for Pfizer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, tyranny on Americans. So I think he's starting to distance himself from that a little bit. Like, you don't hear him bringing that up as much anymore.
He used to get on my nerves with the.
They tell me not to talk about it, but I got to talk about it. Like, he would even say that.
Like, yo, come on, man.
Yeah.
But Trump was funny though.
Yeah, he was.
He was very entertaining.
Yeah. Anti-conspiracy said Trump wasn't a politician. Exactly, and I think that's what a lot of people connected with is that you see politicians. You see politicians get up there and they do the politician thing. They answer the questions in a political way. They don't want to offend anybody. They have these rehearsed talking points that they always try to hit. That's why I always hated the presidential debates, especially the primary debates. Like when Kamala Harris is up there and like wants to say her line, guys, people want food on the table, not a food fight. You know what I mean? And she says,
one of the funniest to me, where you just clearly saw like how stupid this is, was Booker, right?
Yeah.
Yo soy, like he starts speaking Spanish.
No.
It was Beto. Beto went Spanish first.
Remember,
and
I made a clip on the Instagram about that because Beto started speaking Spanish, and you see Corey looking at him like, "Yo, you stole," because he was going to do
my
that.
shine.
He was going to do that.
But the pander is real.
Yeah, like, it's all pandering.
Yeah, the pander is real, and it's so disingenuous and it's so detached. So it becomes like, really, and the only people who are gonna fall for it are the people that are already their base.
Yeah.
Oh, he spoke Spanish. I'm gonna vote for you now.
He said Kamala is funny. The size 20 Timberlands coming off the jet. They weren't even Tims.
They weren't even real Tims.
That was the real bad part about it, is that they were the Fugazis. All the black people was clowning her for that one. Yeah, Booker did suck. Booker definitely sucked. And I know
he's from New Jersey.
His Puerto Rican girlfriend was embarrassed by his bad Spanish speaking.
Rosario.
Yeah.
Is that his real girlfriend though?
That was at the time, but you know, I don't know if it was real or not. All right, let's keep it moving. So what was I gonna play?
I don't know. I cut you off with something.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't remember, but it's okay. We'll just keep it going. So let's get into what you had, Jake, because I want to touch on that stuff. Hold on, let me pull it up. So just give a little intro on what we're about to watch right here.
So this is Lila. I don't remember her last name. She's one of the biggest people. They have live action. She's a pro-choice activist.
Okay.
I mean pro-choice.
Pro-life
activist.
Oh, Lila Rose, right?
Yeah, I can't remember her last name.
She was on the she was just on the whatever podcast.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. Debating that one dude that was friends with Tate, the guy that always wear the blue suit, the alpha guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say debating, but yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But so she was on Ruslan, and I just took a clip of it. It seemed pretty interesting. She was talking about basically it's about dehumanization and how personhood, or when a baby is actually a person or a life. You know, a viable life.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of what it goes into.
All right, here we go.
And you talk about dehumanizing. I mean, there's strong overlap of Margaret saying
That's
her
not
and
the
some
right
of her
one.
wild, views.
That's not the right one?
No.
Okay.
It's the other one.
Yeah, see.
When does
They didn't come in order.
begin?
Well, I mean, if you're a human, you're a person.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty simple. And once we start to say some humans aren't persons, is when we open the door to human rights abuses. And that's what's happened historically, right? So, Jews are subhuman. They're not persons. They're not recognized under the same law as German citizens who are of Aryan descent. So they're therefore less than, and now we can just them, right? Blacks are less than human because they're black. Like all of the human rights abuses have one thing in common, and it's dehumanization, which claims that you are less than, you are not personhood status. Even though you share our same humanity, you're not really that human because I don't like you for some reason. You're inconvenient. You're the wrong color. You're the wrong nationality.
You won't wear a mask. You won't take the vaccine. That was all used. The same tactics were used during COVID.
Like something about you I hate, so I'm going to dehumanize you.
Yeah.
And with the unwanted unborn child, that's what is happening.
Yep. Yep.
But I don't know if you guys remember this. Remember when I showed that thing that showed like the 10 steps to genocide?
Yeah, I remember.
And remember in there, like one of the main steps was to dehumanize the people that you're going to genocide.
Yeah.
You have to make people see them as less than human.
Yeah.
And when you use terms like, anti-vaxxers or, Trumpers, MAGA, ultra mega MAGA, like all these
or you just say homophobes,
right,
transphobes,
The same thing in Cambodia.
bigots,
Yeah, they did the same thing. If you weren't dark skinned or you weren't for the country, you're dead.
Right.
Yeah.
And in China right now, it's what's the term that they use? You have to be red or something like that. Like you have to be something about red.
Yeah.
There's something like I think they have to consider you red, which is like
red is like the their color.
Yeah. But it means that you're like totally bought into the system.
Right.
It's when they say these MAGA people, well, MAGA stands for Make America Great Again. What's wrong with that?
Well, because they need to make it sound terrible, Mom. That's why.
But Make America Great Again is only good. So why? It's just
I
crazy.
mean, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that.
No, I know, but I'm saying they use that, like, all these MAGA people.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because it's just a way to otherize people.
Exactly.
It's a way to put people in a box where it's nice and neat, and they can say this is this and this is that, and that's actually dehumanizing.
Yeah. All right.
When there's a wanted pregnancy, oh my gosh, I'm so congratulations on your baby. We're gonna throw a baby shower. I'm having a baby. It's a boy or it's a girl, whatever. If it's unwanted, it's a fetus. It's an embryo. It's not I'm just gonna have just a clump of cells. It's not. You don't even give it human terms, right? That's not coherent.
Yeah, it's not.
They're both just as human.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's so interesting with this whole gender thing, and you have these. They say a female assigned at birth.
Yeah,
which doesn't even make any sense because then why do we have gender revealing parties?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
no one assigns gender at birth anymore.
No, the gender comes. You can see the gender from the ultrasounds.
But that's wizard. That's just wizardry with language.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Because first of all, gender is never assigned; it's observed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Even before they had ultrasounds, before they could detect the baby's gender ahead of time, when it came out, they saw either a penis or a vagina, and it was observed.
Yeah, assigned is a name.
Yeah,
you assign your name to your kid.
Your gender is determined at conception.
Yeah.
By
your
God. XX, XY by God.
DNA.
Yeah.
I mean, technically you can do DNA like early and find out, but it's a little more invasive.
Right.
And find out what the child is.
Yeah.
So like this whole thing about, like you said, when they're saying assigned at birth, it's all wizardry.
Because that's just a way to make it seem like, oh, someone did this to you.
Yeah.
It can be undone.
And it's a way to get people to think in a different way.
Yeah.
But it's a way to make them think the way it's been programmed. They've been programmed, or they've created a program.
Yeah.
Right. And then they say you need to do the work and get educated.
Yeah.
Right. But educated on the thing you made up.
Right.
It's all made up. So this next clip is about that.
He said the fact that they are mad about this is crazy. Yeah. I agree.
So this clip is from a couple years ago, but I thought it was interesting. It came up. It kind of went viral.
This is with Malik Yoba?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was...
I saw this on Twitter going viral, too.
And it's just funny because I thought this when I watched it. Like, this guy is just... He messed up. See, he's in a spot where he went on the Breakfast Club and he got caught with a trans woman. I don't even know how you say it, but
trans woman.
A trans woman. Okay, he got caught with a trans woman, and so now he has to try to pander right to that. So then all these people come on there that are advocates, and now he's like just submitting to everything they say,
right?
And it's just interesting how it all plays out.
Okay, well, before we pull this up, I do want to point out for those that don't know, because we're talking about gender assigned at birth, and a lot of these ideologies about social constructs, gender being social construct, come from the John Money experiments. We talked about that on here before. If you guys have time, go look that up. I actually just saw a clip. I didn't even know that the son and the mother were on Oprah years ago. The one, not the son that stayed a son, the one that they convinced was a girl.
Oh, wow.
So if those that don't know the story, there was two twins. One of them had a botched circumcision. And because the botched circumcision was going to leave him, in a bad situation growing older, the mom heard about John Money through some advertisement on TV, contacted him, and he saw this as the perfect opportunity for him to prove his theory about gender being a social construct. You got two twin babies, both boys, but one can be raised as a girl, so we can prove this thing. It went terribly wrong. Both of them ended up killing themselves pretty much as they got later on in age. Look up the John Money situation, because that's where a lot of the things that there are taught about the gender ideology come from his research, which is all a load of crap. And there was a lot of weird stuff that he was doing to them.
So that's their Bible, right?
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, a lot of these people that are like living by all this didn't do their own research to know that experiment did not work.
Right.
It ended up with, two kids or two human beings killing themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing now. Like with the suicide rates, it's higher than it was before.
So was he looking at them as humans or experiments?
Experiments.
So did
he dehumanize them? Yeah. And for his own...
You see how he just...
bring that all together.
But that's what you got to see it that way.
That's crazy.
That's the true dehumanization.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. Let's play this clip so you can see Malik Yoba, New York Undercover.
Who think that trans women...
Assigned, not naturally born. Again, not naturally born. Nothing about it is natural.
I told you I make mistakes.
Nothing about that is natural.
Okay, so what I'm saying is...
You got to watch this movie.
Instagram
I know
clips,
it's so annoying.
It's
the women, naturally born women who think that trans women...
Assigned, not naturally born. Again, not naturally born. Nothing about it is natural.
I told you I make mistakes.
Nothing about that is natural.
He says nothing about a woman who's born a woman is natural.
Yeah.
He's already, this is all trained.
Right.
This is, you gotta learn this.
Yeah.
Right. And then you say you're not educated.
Right. So, because he said a naturally born woman, and they said it's not natural. Nothing about that is natural.
Yeah.
Gender being assigned, that's what they went to there with it.
So who's the one that's a trans?
All of them are, right?
No wonder they're saying naturally born, they're not naturally born. They're not.
Aren't all of them trans?
No. For women, what's the language?
Assigned female at birth.
We know that one is.
So for women who are assigned female at birth and stick to that,
and for whom that is consistent with how they identify,
and for whom that's
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and to the republic for which it stands. He's got to do a whole pledge.
Look what he says after. Look what he says.
That's a lot of words. Who?
Stick with it.
Okay.
You are in a commitment for a stance. So
Yes,
Do the
ma'am.
work.
Yes, ma'am.
Dude, I think they're all trans.
Yeah.
Work.
Come on.
Teach me. Say it again.
Do the work.
Do it again.
For whom?
For whom?
It's consistent with how they identify.
Okay, so for women who were assigned female at birth, and it's consistent with how they identify.
That's right.
Right.
So for all of you cisgender women, naturally,
I just started over. Yeah.
But do you see the wizardry, right?
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
like you can't. It's not love to see somebody in a way that is not the way God created you. That's actually dehumanizing. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the next clip I have kind of like goes along with that because now
But they would. I'm sorry to cut you off, Jake. But they would say the opposite.
Oops.
You're not humanizing them. They don't have rights because you're not.
It's day 9,000
going along with what you know.
But based
gender.
off of what standard? Your own? Because if it's your own, you can be whatever you want. What is a human? That's why we need something to look to, right? And that's what I'll go into a little bit, you know, to make it make more sense. But let's watch this other one.
So this is Dylan Mulvaney. This has to be after the Bud Light stuff.
610 of being a human, and I'm going to try to leave gender out of this since that's how we found ourselves here.
Really? Because you built your entire platform solely on your gender identity.
I've been offline for a few weeks, and a lot has been said about me, some of which is so far from my truth.
There's only one truth, but carry on.
I do have some thoughts to share with you. I'm struggling to understand is the need to dehumanize and to be cruel.
Can we identify what being cruel and dehumanizing is? Because in today's world, simply speaking truth can be considered cruel and dehumanizing. I'm just saying.
I want to share parts of myself on here that have nothing to do with my identity.
And that would be great. But the problem is that you created your entire platform solely based on your gender
Exactly.
identity and your gender ideology. That's how you became famous. When you were a gay man on Broadway, nobody knew who you were. You were mediocre. The moment you wore a woman face, you suddenly became relevant and made millions. So it's kind of hard to switch up now and say, I just want to be me.
Spoke to Biden at the White House.
Without talking about gender when that is your entire gig.
It's day 9,600.
Yeah.
All right. So.
All right, let me
What's
get
up,
this.
Mo?
Gotta.
Nah, it's
hold on. Theris sent us some stars. Shout out. Thank you, Theris.
Thank you, Theris.
She said, "How come they are playing God?" She's Planned Parenthood is killing off the young generation to make billions. That is 100% true.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I was watching some Margaret Sanger clips earlier.
Oh,
yeah. Well, go ahead, Jake. What were you going to get into? That's another dehumanizer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because she was a complete eugenics.
Well, dude, that's what we're going to talk. That's the next clip.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But I wanted to get into this before we get into that. So are the people who are trans and is that community actually dehumanizing themselves? Are they, because what are they, if to dehumanize somebody, you're actually killing people.
Right.
They're killing themselves.
Right.
They don't feel like they fit.
They're mutilating their own bodies.
Right. They don't feel like they fit in this world. But where are they getting their image from?
Yeah.
Right? There's something interesting in Mark 12:28. There was a scribe who's kind of like a lawyer, right? He knows the law in the time of Jesus, and he says to Jesus, you know, what's the greatest commandment of all? And Jesus says, the Lord your God is one. And then he says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. So that's everything, right? But then he says, the second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandments greater than these.
Yeah.
So I think we do it backwards a lot of times. People always talk about love, and they try to love people. But how do you, and then if you say, I love you as I love myself, well, how do you see yourself?
Right.
So you're going to love people the way you see yourself. That's backwards. he said to love him first. That's the greatest commandment. So when I love him first, I see myself in him. Jesus came to show us the Father, right? But also show us ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? So if we don't have that and we don't put it into the right perspective, we're going to get offended. And we think, and so that you hear this all the time. Like I just saw something with a clip about a trans man who was saying that we're about love and we're the community of love and there's nothing wrong with loving people, all these things, but it's like based off of whose standard.
Right.
You see what's going on with the vaccines, right? Now, let's say you don't believe, but let's say these vaccines are actually very harmful for you, which is turning out it might be, right? With all the evidence coming forward, you can see what's happening with all the people who are taking them in sports, right?
Myocarditis.
Yeah, myocarditis.
Yeah.
Seizures.
Yeah.
All these things that are happening.
Blood clots.
So you love people, therefore you want to help them. And that's good. But the thing is, if you don't know how to help them in the right way, well, then you got to humble yourself. Everybody wants to save the world.
Yeah.
But you can't save the world based off of yourself. That's why we got a savior.
Yep.
Jesus came to be the savior so we could learn how to trust him. And then he can save the world. And we can be used in that way, right? We can tell, our job is to tell people the truth. Our job is to point back to Jesus. So when we do that, we show people, look, he's greater than me. This is what he said, right? And that's all I'm saying. I'm reading what he said.
Yeah.
He said, you got to love God first.
Yep.
With all your heart, strength, mind, soul, right?
Yeah.
If you do that first, now you can love others. Because you see, and what does it mean to love? You can't love, a child can't love their parents in the same way the parents love their children.
Right.
So it's not like you're loving God in a way where you're providing for him. You're doing stuff for him.
Right.
It's not you can do for God.
Yeah.
You're loving him by obeying him.
Yeah.
Jesus said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments.
Yeah.
If you love me, you'll obey my word. So it's opposite. We have to trust him, right? We trust him. And then we start to see who we are. We start to see a different thing. So it's interesting that in Genesis 1, I think it's 26. He says, God said, let us make man or mankind, right? Humans in our image, in our likeness, right? Now we're seeing things in a different way. So now if we know that we get our image from God and we love him first, he'll start to shine back on us. It's the same thing with our parents. As we honor our parents and say, I don't know, I want to help somebody, but Daddy, help me help somebody else, right? Right? If we can't help people if we don't know how to. But the moment we start to look at our parents and humble ourselves, they teach us. Now we can do what we couldn't do before.
Right.
And I think that's where we start to become more loving. And to people who think that's not loving, it's because they love themselves in the way they want to love themselves. And that's why it gets very divisive, because you have you have LGB, right?
Yeah.
The LGB that are like, that other stuff ain't us. Right?
Right.
Because
from
that's
T on, we're
Right.
disassociating with that.
Why? Because that doesn't image me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's not what I look like.
Right.
See, it's a different image to them.
Yeah.
So they're like, I need to disassociate from that. But I think all of us have to understand, truly humanizing somebody is loving God first. And then we can love others, because all it takes is for somebody to be like, yeah, I don't like what they said. Did you hear what they said? They're horrible. They're evil, right? And then you get it to a place where they don't deserve to live.
Yeah.
That can happen in any case. It doesn't have to be, transphobia.
That's the Tate reference to the Matrix, where you say that one thing and then the person turns into an agent right there, and now they want to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think like Jesus, when Jesus got baptized, when Jesus was on the Mount of Transfiguration, and God says, "This is my son who I am well pleased." That pleasure is about he's imaging him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's imaging. It's his glory. Like he shines on that mountain. He's shining with the glory of God, right? He's showing who, he says there, listen to him, right? There's a key there. So I think we have to understand that there's a standard, and it's Jesus, right? Where else can you look? Because if you look to yourself, that's a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
Right? And if you listen to these people who got degrees, well, what's their standard of the things that we just talked about the guy who
Hotez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's telling everybody to get these vaccines, right?
But his story keeps changing.
But he's not
time.
he's inconsistent.
Yeah.
And that's what you see. You see a
Right.
lot of inconsistency with a lot of this stuff. But I just think understanding that it's God's image.
Mm-hmm.
God's our creator.
Right.
He created us. So how do we even know how to be human?
Yeah.
If we don't know him, you know what I mean?
And that's a huge problem that's going on now, is that there is such a push to remove God from people's lives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are they filling it with? They're filling it with a false way to image themselves. So you got all of these people coming up with all these crazy genders. You know, I always bring up frog gender because it's just funny. But what is that? That's dehumanizing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be human.
Yeah.
Alien gender, ghost gender, demon gender. You know what I mean? Paint gender, paint self.
Yeah. It's funny because like it talks about that the law of Moses is veiled, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say like you shouldn't covet,
Yeah.
I'm using that one because that's one that we like. It's become culturally accepted.
Mhm.
Because how many people say, "Oh, I'm jealous of you."
Yeah.
Oh, I love your house. I'm jealous of
Right,
you.
right.
That's envy.
Mhm.
That's coveting, right?
Yep.
That's what that's about.
Right.
So, but when you accept that, and then somebody says, "Bro, you shouldn't really be saying you're." I know you're joking, but even to go into that space,
Yeah.
now you're gonna look at somebody's life, and you will be like, "It's not fair that they get to do those things."
Well, what does social media promote?
Envy.
Coveting.
Yeah.
It promotes that. Like, how many relationships get into arguments because some woman is watching some lifestyle that she doesn't have, so now she's mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, it's one thing to be like, okay, I shouldn't do that, and as a marker. But then when you realize, but I keep doing it.
Yeah.
So that's the issue where you need God as your Lord, right? So like second Corinthians 3 talks about that, 3:15, where it says, in the days of Moses, it was the word was read veiled to their hearts, right?
Mhm.
But then when one turns to the Lord, the veil's removed.
Okay.
Which is talking about Jesus.
Yeah.
Now the Lord is a spirit, and where the spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom.
Mm.
So now you come into this place of you're free from the law where it's lording over you.
Mhm.
Most people don't like to be told the things that they're doing that are wrong,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because they're like, yeah, but this is what. There's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
you know. But once you see it, there is something wrong with that. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to see that,
Mhm.
right? So I want to turn away from it.
Yeah.
But if you have that as a marker, now you got to be kind of responsible for it, right? But most people don't want to be responsible, so they look away. They turn away. But when you turn and say, you know what? I can't do this. God, you can do it. You
Yeah.
did it. You came. Jesus came. He lived the life we could have lived.
Yep.
Died a death
We couldn't
couldn't die for
Yeah.
us, right? To take our sins. So that's why we call him Lord, because he could do it. He's king. He's the one who could do what we couldn't do.
Right.
Right. So the Lord is a spirit. Where the spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Right. But the next part is key, because look what it says. And we all, with unveiled faces, beholding the glory of the Lord, which is connected to his image, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're becoming transformed into the same image from degree of glory to another, into his image. So the more we look at him where we say, I can't do it, you can, I'm learning. I'm humbling myself, right? I recognize I'm not the greatest human.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I think the issue is because we're in Pride Month.
Yeah.
Right? We're in Pride Month. For you to want to kill a child and not see that it's killing a child, and you're just saying it's not a child, it's a fetus, which a fetus actually means a child.
It's women's health care.
Women's health care. That's pride.
Yeah.
You want to see it the way you want to see it so you can keep doing the thing you want to do. You don't want to look at the law. Thou shalt not murder. Right? And all that is to show you yourself. You're a murderer.
Yeah.
But then you can, if you turn your life to Jesus, you can really see past that law. That you're not actually a murderer. You're actually like the Lord who came to show you who you were. And then you don't got to be responsible for it because you can give it to him. He became responsible for it. Now you can actually give that up to him. Let it go. And now live in his life. Right? Start to understand. Now you see behind the veil. Right? You start to understand who you are, why he created you, why he loved you. Right? And then you can love others because you have that understanding of yourself. If you don't have that understanding of yourself, you don't know why he loved you, so you don't know how to really love yourself. But once you get that, now I can love other people. You know, so I think that, and I'm going so deep into this because the word of God, it's powerful. It's changed. We have to have a standard for living, right? What God did is powerful. But if we just continue to try to think the way we want to think and do what we want to do, all right, you're going to keep having the same results, right? And you see it, our society, it looks like it's crumbling.
And you know what's weird? Genesis 1:28 says, God blessed them, and God said to them, Adam and Eve, be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
What are they doing? The opposite.
Yeah.
Right. Because all that stuff leads to death.
Right.
Yep.
And it shows you it's actually dehumanization. It's all leading to death. Sterilization, right? All this trans stuff. Sterilization, right?
Well, so is abortion.
Yeah.
All that.
So is birth control. So is all of these things that are becoming societal norms that are being pushed by the mainstream are all, I mean, and you know, that's all by design too, because the evil that is in place wants to.
Because it's evil.
Yeah.
It's wicked.
Yeah.
It's an evil agenda, and Jake and I were talking about it. The devil is jealous. He hates God. He's jealous, so he tries to do everything to destroy humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And I hear this, like, I saw this one video, and this there was a gay guy on there. He said, I don't want to have to see straight people kissing and loving each other, and I can't do. So that's why we had Pride Month. Like, because we want to show what we are.
Right.
That's envy.
Yeah.
You're literally speaking what coveting is.
Yeah.
You're speaking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not, if you feel that way, then it should be like, all right, this is how I feel. But I know it's wrong because I have a gauge, right? But then it's about bringing that to God so he can work that out in your life.
Yeah.
Right? He can shift that in your life because that deals with the lust. You know that lust and coveting is the same word in the Hebrew. Right? So when you covet, it's about lust. It's not a desire that comes from God. Right? It's an out of order desire. It's cool to get married. It's cool to have these things, but you have to do it in the right order. You have to do it in the way God created it, and then it flourishes. Then you multiply, you prosper. Anyway,
you want to play this other clip?
Yeah, let's play the other.
Hold on. Paul said anti-fertility agenda has taken over every major institution / policy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Population control. All right, let's play this other clip. Hold on. First, let me read because anti-conspiracy is going in on YouTube. Said, and they wiped so much evidence online. I think they were talking about the vaccines. Do you know how many trans die doing penile inversion surgeries? Why isn't that being talked about like the botched BBLs? Yeah, that's true. They don't talk. They suppress that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw something about that. Someone just did. Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I did want to show y'all this article. Where is it? Because it goes. Yeah, here we go. Pull this up, Mom. So right along with what they were saying. So AMC canceled showing of a documentary showcasing people who regret sex change procedures after transgender activists complain. So this is from the Gateway Pundit. So AMC theaters were going to show this documentary. It was all about transgender people who regretted they wanted to detransition. You know, we've been seeing more and more of these stories like crazy.
Yeah.
And you're going to see more of them because this is such a new thing.
Yeah.
You're going to see this continue to come out. But so after people complained, AMC canceled all the showings of this documentary.
People complained?
Yeah.
Because you know how the far left operates.
Oh, yeah. It was 5 people spamming all the theaters, you know.
Yeah.
You know
or
how it is.
the same thing with the whole Target thing.
Yeah.
You know, them bomb scares, the media is making it look like it's the right that's doing that.
Same thing with the Armenian people fighting outside the schools.
Yep. We talked about that last week.
They're always going to try to frame it that way. So this is by Deplorable Films. It was Panico Productions and Deplorable Films present No Way Back, the reality of gender-affirming care, showing in select AMC theaters on June 21st. And it's been canceled. But
where can we watch it?
Yeah, people don't want to hear about, like, a lot of these people are doing irreparable damage.
Yeah.
Irreparable damage.
Isn't that it's not responsible.
Yeah.
This is just not responsible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It isn't. I mean, and the parents are signing off on this.
Yeah.
I sent a clip to my daughter of this girl, young teenager who was like, I don't know if they were a teenager, but they looked young. It was a girl, but their voice was deep as heck and was like talking about how they thought that they wanted to transition and then changed their mind and then realized that they never really wanted to be trans. It was just all of the TikTok videos that they were watching, all of the indoctrination, and literally was like, I went into one interview with a doctor. It took 5 minutes. I told them that I was trans, and they said, "Okay, well, here's the next step." There was no psychological evaluation.
Wow.
There was no, going in for session to make sure. There was no checking your medical history. There was none of that. It was,
wow.
It's
all it was.
They went on
it's
testosterone.
all about money.
So they went on that testosterone right away, and the voice dropped. But now, it clearly looks like a girl now, but just has a deep voice.
Wow.
So that's the damage that
but
you
they
do.
tell you the opposite. They tell you that they're trying to save these people's lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not doing that.
No.
Again, they're trying to save these people's lives based off of their own standard of salvation.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
They make themselves gods.
It's care. It's affirming care.
Right.
All right, let's pull this up.
Go
ahead.
Real quick, that interview that I sent y'all, it's long. It's like with Jordan Peterson and that one young lady who tried to transition into a boy when she was real young. She was like, she pretty much was like a tomboy growing up.
Yeah.
But she started feeling kind of out of place. But then she's like, she's a child, so it's like maybe I am supposed to be a like a supposed to be a boy.
Yeah.
And then she went to the doctors, and Jordan Peterson, like, I sent y'all the video, but he broke it down really, really well, man, because they found out later that she actually has a lot of traits that's like a boy because she's autistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they Jordan Peterson always says that boys, they like things more, like they're like a ball.
Boys will stay hyper focused on things,
right? So she was like that.
Yeah,
but it was because she was slightly on the spectrum.
Yep.
But they never
so that
really
gets
dug into
misdiagnosed.
Yeah, never dug into it. Oh, you feel like a boy, then you're a boy.
Yeah.
Then take these hormone blockers, and now she's having problems. With like, her. I want to get off, but her breasts, like, she don't get what she's supposed, like the sensation or whatever, like that. And she's like 19, and she's having problems that older women have, like, later on in life, and she's like devastated.
Yeah,
because
I watched that. That was interesting.
These are suggestions.
Yeah,
that people put in, right? They're suggestions. It's just like somebody, they must be racist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when you say that, like.
Yeah, it's like
imagine
just sprinkling
kids
the air with a little bit of
don't even think in that way.
Yeah,
and the moment you say that, and then you explain that to them,
yeah,
they're already like they don't know,
yeah.
so they're like, maybe that is what it is, And you're forming kids' minds,
Yeah.
But when you don't give them any of those things to grab onto,
yeah,
it's actually more freeing. When you got too much knowledge. And it's coming from too many places. Bro, that's a lot of pressure on people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening. Where people are so confused, and so people want to kill themselves because there's so much coming at them at one time, and they don't know how to filter it out.
But even kids, they're doing that. They're putting that pressure on them in schools.
Yeah,
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's coming from everywhere. And they're trying to take who are the filters? The parents.
Yeah.
But if the parents are preoccupied,
they want to remove that.
They
ability to do that.
Remove that completely.
Yeah.
You see it in California.
Yep.
You see it in Washington State.
Yep.
Right? How they're implementing these laws.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
What's that law called? That's crazy.
I forget what
if
it's
you
called.
don't affirm your child,
they can be taken from you.
They call it abuse.
Be taken.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Call it abuse.
Yep.
It's inverted. It's literally inverted.
Yep. If you don't abuse your child, it's abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's play this clip.
His personhood begin?
Well, I mean, if you're a human, you're a person.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty simple. And once we start to say some humans aren't persons,
right one.
is when we open the door to human rights abuses. And that's what's happened historically, right? Yep. So
it's not the right one. That was the one you...
And you talk about dehumanizing. I mean, there's strong overlap of Margaret Sanger and some of her wild, views on race and some of this stuff. And so even in the origins of some of this stuff, it doesn't seem like...
Not a good place to
come from.
Well, yeah, she's the founder of Planned Parenthood. She founded it as the Birth Control League before it became Planned Parenthood. Originally, it was all about handing out birth control and sterilization. She was actually for forced sterilizations of the disabled. And she was also for, this is the founder of Planned Parenthood, she was also for, you need a permit from the government. She wanted to do a one-child policy in the United States, like they had in China.
Yep.
And you would have to apply for a permit and in order to have a child.
Yep.
And if you didn't
I didn't know
not
that.
be allowed to have children, or you would be sterilized.
I did not know that.
It's so dark.
Yeah.
And she's celebrated now as like this founder of women's rights.
Yeah.
And she was an open racist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She definitely was talking about the Negro and how they don't need to reproduce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's quoted multiple times. Mm-hmm. And it was her idea to use the black preachers because she knew that she said the Negroes are a religious people. And she was an atheist. Mm-hmm. So she said we need to use the black preachers to sell this to the Negro. Margaret Sanger, y'all, the hero of Planned Parenthood.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
But anyways, she was also a eugenicist. And she supported she would pen pal actually with some eugenicists in Nazi Germany at the time, interestingly. And they would talk about like their solutions for making cleaner races.
Yeah.
And in her mind, the solution was mostly contraceptives and sterilization of minority communities and of the disabled.
And where are all the Planned Parenthoods located?
In the hood.
In minority communities, right? Yeah, it's very interesting. And then also, there's another famous guy who's constantly talking about how we showed a TED Talk of him talking about how you need to get the population down to reduce carbon emissions. His father was a pretty open eugenicist, and he sat on the board of a certain company. Anybody know what that company was?
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood. Yeah, Bill Gates Sr. sat on the board of Planned Parenthood.
Here's another fun fact. Did you know who's the biggest donor to Planned Parenthood?
I'm gonna go with George Soros.
No.
Who?
Bezos.
Bezos?
Actually, technically, Bezos' wife. I don't know if it's the ex-wife or he doesn't. Does he have a new wife?
Yeah, he just recently got.
I don't know
married to
which one it is, but
some plastic surgery BBL chick.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Paul said, "Good old Billy hates."
Yep, good old Billy hates.
So many people
Courtney said, "Y'all spitting all facts."
Yeah, man.
Making cleaner races.
Yeah.
And in her
I feel
mind,
like Ruslan is like
mostly contraceptive
getting his mind blown right
of
now.
minority communities and of the disabled.
How do so many people just like remove this part from history? Like, because it seems like not a lot of people even know this, and then the people who know this just like I'm trying to think of like how do you logically maneuver around that?
It's the power of narrative, right? So whoever is telling the history has the power, and you can rewrite history, and you can say, "Oh, she's great," and like all of feminism is great. Yeah, some of feminism was great. Early feminism, it's been a lot that's been horrible.
Yeah.
But if you have the power to write the history, if you're the one setting the school curriculum in our schools, if you're the one whose ideological friends are the newspaper editorial board or the editorial room at CNN,
Bezos,
all the newspapers, if you're the one who is backing the big studios in Hollywood, if you're the one who has the seats at the corporate tables in the boardrooms in big tech companies, Jeff Bezos's ex-wife, and he's aligned with the same ideology. His ex-wife donated the biggest single gift to Planned Parenthood in its history. No one knows this. Like, very few people know this. But she took some of the Amazon wealth and she gave, I think it was over $100 million to Planned Parenthood.
Woo! $100 million.
So think about the power that she has to perpetuate the lies. Planned Parenthood is a almost $2 billion organization. They're perpetuating the lies about their founder, about their origins, about their intentions, about their operations. What do you do in the face of all those lies?
Yeah. Yeah, that's heavy. What else? There is.
Like, that's heavy. Let's move on.
Yeah. Well, because it just feels daunting.
But the good news is
he doesn't know how to handle that type of stuff, man.
Yeah.
Many Americans are pro-life as pro-choice.
Yeah.
Over time, as you test, most Americans support bans.
Yeah.
Most Americans support bans.
Yep.
So, like, there's a lot. Pro-life America is passionate. It's growing. So that's the power of truth.
Yeah.
You can have decades of lies, and you speak truth to those lies, and they crumble. So that's the power.
When does person?
Wow.
Go ahead, girl.
Yeah. It's funny because I was literally watching some the interview with Mike Wallace. Remember that old interview with Mike Wallace and Margaret Sanger?
Yeah.
I was watching that. And there was a part in there where I was like seeing insight into like why she thinks the way she does. Shout out to Theris who sent us some stars. She said, "That's crazy. God made man, woman, and how can you change what God has done? I just don't understand. He said this kind of thing would happen in Revelation." And Lisa Sloan said, "Do you know that a school principal can take a child to go get an abortion and you not know about it till cops knock on your door? Or CPS knock on your door. That is crazy. I didn't know they could do that in schools." So let me just, I think I was watching this right in this spot right here. Let's just see.
You say died prematurely after bearing 11 children. She was born.
So this, yeah. So this is Margaret Sanger right here, doing an interview with Mike Wallace, 1957.
Prematurely after bearing 11 children. She was born a Catholic, was she not?
She was born a Catholic, yes.
And
in Ireland.
Your father was a sort of a village atheist who clashed with church authorities, and because of his atheism, his earnings dwindled under community pressure. You and your brothers and sisters were known as, quote, children of the devil, end quote. Could it be then that in part at least you were driven emotionally toward the birth control movement because of antagonism toward the church, because that was a way to fight the church?
Dang.
Her mother died when she was young. She was one of 11 kids, right? So no mother in the picture. Her mother was the one who was the Catholic. Her dad was a known atheist.
Staunch atheist.
Yeah. So you don't think any of that played a factor into her ideology or who she connected herself with or what type of circles, like how psychologically she dealt with that pain? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I don't think I had anything of the kind in mind. I was what I would call a born humanitarian. I don't like to see people suffer. I don't like to see cruelty, even to this day. And in nursing, you see a great deal of cruelty and unnecessary suffering. At that time, there was no opposition as far as the church was concerned, any church. It was mainly the law, the federal law and state laws that one had to think of. The church was not in my mind at all.
Well, in going after your motive, then, and I will press you just a little bit more about that and then get to the specifics of this evening, but in your motive, in the movement, is it possible that the movement itself, the feeling of wanting to do anything that you felt was important, that perhaps that moved you a good deal? Because the fact remains that you led a movement against overwhelming pressures that stemmed back for centuries, and in doing so, according to your autobiography, you even left your first husband. And you wrote this to a friend, Mrs. Sanger. You said, "Where is the man to give me what the movement gives in joy and interest and freedom?" Now, what was this joy, this freedom that you craved?
Dude, is that not what we're seeing now?
Yep.
With modern feminism?
Yes. This joy, this freedom. But it's not really a joy and freedom, because why are people so mad when you challenge them on things?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But she left her husband because her desire for the movement
was greater.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And
when I hear her talk, all I hear is, "I'll get you, my little pretty."
That's how people talk back then, right? Isn't it?
And
weird?
your little dog,
isn't it,
too.
Dude, that is a real thing. Like how dialects change throughout time.
Yeah,
you know, it's just you can pick an era out by the way people talked and enunciated and said words.
Yeah.
Watch a little bit of this clip too, because this is insightful too.
Very accurate young man.
Yes.
And this
so
is a specific quote.
Well, I don't think I said it quite that way.
What are your religious beliefs?
So he asked her about her quote when she said, "I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world." She said, "I think the greatest sin is bringing children into."
He's Mrs. Sanger. Do you believe in a God in the sense of a divine being who rewards or punishes people after death?
Well, I have a different attitude about the divine. I feel that we have divinity within us. Mm-hmm. And the more we express the good part of our lives, the more the divine within us expresses itself. I suppose I would call myself an Episcopalian by religion. And there's many other, if you've traveled around the world, you get quite a bit of the feeling of all religions have so much alike.
Maybe Thelema? Maybe Aleister Crowley.
Divine part of our own being. And I suppose you just couldn't put that in a book, or you couldn't put it into a phrase or a sentence.
Do you believe in sin? When I say believe, I don't mean believe in committing sin. Do you believe there is such a thing as sin?
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world.
Boom. There she goes.
That right there is totally demonic.
Does she finish that phrase?
No.
That have disease from their parents, that have no chance in the world to be a human being, practically. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just marked when they're born. That, to me, is the greatest sin that people can commit.
But sin in the ordinary sense that we regard it, do you believe or do you not believe?
Well, what? What would they be?
Do you believe that infidelity is a sin?
Well, I'm not going to specify what I think is sin. I've stated what I think is the worst sin.
Yes.
So she doesn't think infidelity is a sin. But
so
bringing
children
into the world
that have disease
or that are maybe poor, because she was saying, or maybe just end up in a bad situation, or maybe that have disability. Those were her views.
So
that's eugenics.
Yeah. She don't believe in hope.
Yeah.
Like the child can get out of it.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Oh, because if you don't have, where's your hope come from?
Exactly. That was my point.
I just thought that those two clips gave a little bit of insight into her mentality. You hear that new age, the beginnings of that new ageness in what she's saying.
It's selfishness.
Yeah.
It's being a lover of yourself, because you become the divine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's that's so backwards again.
Right.
Like people want to say, "Oh, love your neighbor." Like, you know how many I saw this in a Jewish synagogue that was celebrating LGBT. They had and they love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
So
a Jewish synagogue,
and then churches say love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
They forget the first part.
Yeah.
Because they
that.
you know, they don't want to talk about that first part. They want to just go to the love your neighbor as yourself. The problem is, it's how do you see yourself? You know.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting though, like to watch this interview. He's asking her about sin. He's asking about her belief in God. He's like, that would never happen
today.
now.
No, not today.
It's a
no
different
one
world.
cares. Like they don't even want to touch those topics.
But even like she's saying something, and this is why I say, like, if you view only yourself, if you only look at yourself and how to view other people, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
Because she's looking at others and she has no mercy on others that are born into those situations.
Yep.
Like you said, they can't, there's no hope for them.
Yep.
You know, you're not even, you could help them.
Yeah.
I don't want to help them. Right?
I am helping them by making sure they're never born.
I'll help them by eliminating
Yeah.
them. You know,
So they won't be a problem in the first place.
But then you got Canada where people are now, it's illegal. I mean, it's legal to now kill yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And that's help. They're calling this medical help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Maid.
Maid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Medically assisted in death.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, man.
So we invert things all the time.
Yeah.
Right? We see it from different angles. Like, that's why I like bringing up, like, these words that they want to take. Dehumanization.
Yeah.
No, you can't have those words and make them your own. And I think a lot of times people fall into the trap of, like, accepting that, like giving those things
That's
to
the
them.
spell.
Yeah.
That's the spell.
Like the rainbow. No, that's not yours.
Right.
It's not. The rainbow is not the gay person's thing. No.
But see, think about that. The spell of the devil is if I can get you to hate the rainbow, I win. I win.
Yeah.
If I can get you to be annoyed by the sight of the rainbow, I win.
Yeah.
Because
There was
this
a church
symbol from God.
There's a church in I think it was in Atlanta, like outside of Atlanta, and they put billboards up, and it was rainbow, but over it they said, "I have pride in being delivered," or something like that. And dude, they got so much backlash, of course.
Backlash.
And saying that they're hateful and they're, like, and that's all they said, like on the, like.
How is that hateful?
It's not. But anything.
Wizardry with words.
Anything that comes against.
Well, everything that God made to, like, people to procreate and all that, the devil's turning it all around, just like the rainbow. I was reading Revelation, and right on his throne, he has a rainbow on his throne. So they're taking everything, because what does the enemy do?
Yeah, he wants you to hate what God has.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like when I said hateful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am hateful against the things that God hates, but I'm not hateful against you.
Hateful. The inversion.
Should do a song for
the
that.
inversion. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy. I was just watching Margaret Sanger.
Wow.
You had that.
Yeah.
And I was and when she said those things, I was like, yo, these are interesting insights into her.
Yeah.
Like, I never realized that she was talking about the divine and the divine self, and she's talking about this in 1957.
Yeah.
This is before the hippie movement.
Yeah, but all that stuff was underlying.
It was.
It was in those atheist.
And Aleister Crowley's teaching were way before that anyway.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I believe that she was probably dabbling.
Yep.
I mean, L. Ron Hubbard.
dabbling.
Yes. Jack Parsons.
Jack Parsons. All that stuff was in the 40s.
Yeah, in the 1940s. Yep. Yeah, man.
There's did say, crazy, I understand that because the rainbow was a symbol of God covenant.
Exactly. It was his promise.
After the flood.
Yep.
And it's interesting, too, because it's a covenant to people. It's a covenant to all creation.
Yep.
Animals, right? And so when they even take that pride, like, it's a mockery. It's the devil's using that as a mockery to God, but God's using it as a grace to those people.
Yeah.
Who take on that pride, not even realizing there's mercy shown to them.
I didn't even put two and two together. They probably use a rainbow as a mockery to God.
Yeah.
I never did that. And that kind of reminds me of what went on with
the Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
Dude.
Did you see the?
Yes.
Can you pull that up? Like nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody was in the stands.
Well, to be fair, let me pull it up. That was before the game. So that's why nobody.
Oh, it was before the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody was posting that up like no one's there. Yeah, because it was like a pre.
I got duped. I thought that what they showed, the stands were empty.
Yeah.
But what's the group called? Sisters.
For something here. They Dodger Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Yeah.
That's the name of the group that put this together. So the LA Dodgers and lawmakers
sisters.
proud to honor and celebrate anti-Catholic drag group Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, whose sole claim to fame is their anti-Christian religious bigotry. Everyone. So they do a mockery of Jesus on the cross as part of their drag show.
So, tonight is the night that the obscene Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are going to be honored and celebrated by the LA Dodgers. So my question is this: why should the LA Dodgers and state legislators be proud to honor and celebrate this group whose literal claim to fame is their offensive anti-Catholic and anti-Christian religious bigotry? Now is the time that we all need to denounce this hate, to denounce this bigotry, no matter what your religion may be, or if you follow no religion at all.
They wouldn't do that to the Muslims.
No, they would not.
Tulsi Gabbard is killing it too, man. Like she's really been on point, man.
I like her. I would have voted for her if it were.
Yeah. But yeah, so here's the clip of the stadium. So everybody was posting this like, look, no one's there, no one cared. Which, I mean, technically no one showed up early to see it, you know what I mean? But this is way before the game.
There is a clip of one of the guys talking to a girl, a Christian outside.
Yes, I saw that clip.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were saying, I think it was the girl from California, what's her name?
I don't know who she was.
So this is before the game even started?
Yes.
But they do like things like how we did the TSOP.
Yeah. But that was even like we sang the national anthem for the game. We sang like a song for the game, but the audience was already there. Like this is before even any of that.
Okay.
But yeah, the girl was talking to one of the performers and saying like, why is it okay for you to mock my God like that on stage? And they were like, it's called satire. It's not mocking.
Satire is mocking.
Yeah, but
let's do a satirical play about
exactly
LGBTQ and see
exactly
if it's not mocking. If it's not, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's her name. That's her right there, Savannah Hernandez. That's what I was talking about. That's the girl, right?
Okay.
That's the girl that did the interview?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I am not for myself. Who will be for me? If I'm
I can't.
And if
I don't know.
I'm trying to see if I can find it. But yeah, that's the girl, Savannah Hernandez. Okay. She's a conservative, like on the ground reporter, YouTuber kind of girl. She's young, Mexican, and she you probably seen clips of her. She's always interviewing people, and like she interviews college kids and asks them questions about stuff like this, and gets their ridiculous answers. But yeah, that was a mockery, definitely.
That's like, come on, man. Just that little clip that you just showed, that's not family friendly.
No.
That's a baseball game is a family event where you take little kids. It's like,
Yep.
Come on, Dodgers. Like who? Like y'all PR. You guys aren't.
If you look at everything
Mm-hmm.
that you're seeing, it's anti-family.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, even the kids in school, anti-family.
Yeah, everything's anti-family. Abortion is anti-family. Everything is trying to get you to look at yourself. Like, even think about 97 to 99% of abortions are done for selfish reasons, right? They're done because it's an inconvenience.
Yeah, they always use the incest rape argument, but the
that's
percentage
like
is
1%.
it's so low on that. Most of them are elective abortions.
It's under 1%.
Yeah.
Well, you can put all of those incest, rape, even all the medical problems. That's actually not even a thing.
Yeah.
Like she talked about that. Like there's always a way to deliver a child or give the mother care in hospital.
Yeah.
You know, so that they can bring the child to term.
Mm-hmm.
There's never a case that you have to abort a child.
Right.
Like because of the woman's medical conditions. That's not real.
Yeah.
It's just they use that and twist it.
Yeah.
But
to garner sympathy.
But 97 to 99, I think I'll just say 99% of abortions are done out of convenience.
Yeah.
Are done because you don't want to be responsible for the things you did. And I'm saying this with being included in this, you know, because I'm a part of this.
Yeah.
What is that noise?
That was me. That was my shoe. I was just I didn't realize.
So it's all anti-family because it's all selfish. I was selfish.
Right. Yeah.
I was thinking about myself.
Right.
You know, it's all selfish. You're thinking about the things you put forward, what you wanted to do with your life.
Right.
The thing, and all those things, your ideas, your image of yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's all selfish.
I'll never forget that image of that actress getting up there and doing her Golden Globe speech and saying, like, if I didn't have an abortion, I wouldn't be up here right now.
Yeah. Heath Ledger's wife, right?
I don't remember who it was. I just know, like, just thinking, like, okay, so you're glorifying sacrificing the life of your child for some meaningless statue that you're holding
piece of metal
in your hands. Yeah. Like, that is just, like you said, selfish. The ultimate selfish narcissism. Yeah.
And you have people who are put in bad situations, or even people who said, you know what, I'm going to start a family. I'm going to put this first. I'm going to, let's get married. We messed up. We did things wrong. Let's shift. Let's change things. Let's work on family. Let's work together. The greatest thing about marriage is that in order to continue in a marriage, you always got to humble yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you always got to look, okay, I see where my wife, you know, it's easy to see my wife's flaws, but how can I be better? Yeah. How can I humble myself? How can I even to connect to her, like, in a way where we haven't connected or there's a problem? Like, you have to humble yourself. So it's always teaching you got to see yourself in a different way. Because if I don't see myself in a different way, I can't see her in a different way.
Right.
If the reason why I'll project on my wife, you're this and you're that, is because I'm seeing myself in a prideful way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Paul said it's all out in the open now.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how you know it's getting serious. Did we ever think it was going to get this crazy?
Nope.
Like, think about when we were, 13. Could you imagine?
But we used to hear people say, oh, but it's going to get like this if we don't. And everybody was like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're being dramatic.
Yeah.
Look where we are now.
Yeah.
Look where we are now.
I mean, even 3-4 years ago,
I
was hearing people who were saying, these are just outliers.
Yeah.
Yep. Looking at us like we're being too extra talking about this stuff. And now you see where it goes.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'll show you guys this and then we'll wrap it up. I saw this on Twitter. These are the new genders that you guys need to be aware of. So we have Hunter Charick gender. It says, I feel very connected to Hunter. His personality, vibe, look. I feel as if he describes my gender.
Hunter.
Who's Hunter?
Biden?
I don't know. I guess. I don't know.
I was going to say Hunter Biden.
Owl house gender. Owl house is my special interest, and this affects my gender. What?
Owl house?
My gender is just a silly little man. Silly boy gender. Okay. All Audi cringic. My gender feels heavily related to things that might be labeled cringe by neurotypicals and the reclaiming of ableism of cringe culture.
People are just making stuff up. Telling you.
Trans autistic gender. Being autistic very heavily affects me being trans to the point of we were just talking about that with the Jordan Peterson interview. My gender feels very connected to being autistic. And then special interest gender. My special interest, bro. Do you see how they have little images attached to all of them? Bug gender.
Dude, this
Bug
reminds
boy.
me of, and I always say this, but I bring it up because I remember how I felt when I was a kid and I used to watch Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
And me and you, we used to be like looking at the sewers and
Right.
we're thinking
We could live down there. Yeah.
And like, think about how dumb that sounds,
Yes.
right? But we're kids. We're like 7, 8 years old.
imagining, yeah.
You know, imagining, but would we really do it?
No.
But I did have that feeling. I don't know, like,
Could I really
this be possible?
Yeah. Could I
you know,
really be?
could I be a Ninja Turtle?
Yeah.
Like, I remember having those feelings.
I had the same feeling about Spider-Man because Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes.
Yeah.
To like, don't laugh at me, but
Till
like-
last week, I was trying to swing.
no, like I would have like even when we were going to when we were in the R&B group world thing where we
Yeah.
were meeting with like the labels and stuff,
Yeah.
we would go to New York City. I would imagine myself swinging
From the
and I was an adult, but I don't feel like I identify as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, a fantasy thing
But-
that you have.
But if someone in your life every day, or if you were on TikTok every day and they told you, like, yo, you're Spider-Man gender, bro. That's what that is.
Yeah.
And then you start.
Sarah said you're a turtle gender.
You start like attaching yourself to that idea, and then now you maybe you don't think you can swing from trees, but all your clothes are Spider-Man clothes, or like you know what I mean.
But that's what I like. So we knew, like, we kind of had a gauge.
Yeah.
But imagine if that gauge wasn't there.
Yeah.
And imagine if we had grown-ups telling us,
reinforcing it, affirming you.
affirming.
Yeah.
I remember. It's another kind of funny story.
Yeah.
When I was a kid and Mom, you just started dating John, right? Which became our stepdad. He was like, "Oh yeah, I work for
the
the
I know where you're
company.
going.
I work for the company that makes the hoverboards that are in
I know the story.
that are in
So Back to the Future 2
Back to the Future 2
came out, and the highlight of that movie was
the hoverboard.
It was in the future. He was actually in the future, and they had these skateboards that hovered over the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was like, we were so in awe of these, and he was an electrical engineer, so he convinced us that he worked for a company that was developing those hoverboards.
And he was like, "I'm gonna get you guys." Like,
yeah, he would.
I didn't. And for me, like, you know, I'm gonna just say, we came from a little bit of a different culture, right? So he's Irish guy, right?
Yeah.
White Irish. Well, I guess
Irish
that's all.
Catholic.
Irish Catholic. There you go. White Irish.
No, there's
but there is
Black
a Black
Irish.
Irish.
Yeah, there is Black Irish.
But anyway, so the funny part was, dude, I was so hyped. Like, I just believed because I wasn't used to being lied to, right?
Exactly. So that's
Right.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Is we didn't come from a place where, except for like the little white lies that my mom used to tell us about, you're gonna blow up the house if you touch
Yeah.
something in the closet. But we didn't get like outright lied to.
Well, especially from a man.
From a man who's telling you something that's like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And you, like, that whole concept was foreign to us.
Yeah, because our dad was like, he just told us the truth about everything.
Santa Claus wasn't real.
Yeah. We didn't believe, like, he just would tell us the truth. So we weren't used to, like, that kind of joking.
Yeah.
You know, even though he was joking, like, to somebody who comes from the world of, when my dad talks to me, he's saying the truth.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So,
but why did he do it to us? Because it was done to him. Remember?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Right. So it was that kind of world he came from. Right?
Yeah.
And that's why these things can be. It can be a little shit. Like it depends who you're. Because
he had us telling all of our friends,
dude,
like, yo,
I was so hyped.
We were telling everybody,
I
like, yo,
swore
we get
I was
hoverboards,
getting a hoverboard. I swore I was going to be the first one.
Yeah.
How old was hoverboard?
Right.
When did that movie come out?
Dude,
I don't know.
80s. I don't know.
85?
It was when that movie came out.
Not 85. It had to be a little later. I
think
know.
it was like 90,
80.
91, 92.
I don't know.
So y'all were like,
well, I was
11.
like, I was like 8. So it's like 88, 80, 89.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But dude, we were so hyped about this. And
But why didn't you tell me,
8 or
Mom?
9-year-old wouldn't be hyped?
Right.
Yeah, but why didn't you say, Mom? John said,
Mom, he would say it in front of you, and you never. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Mom.
Yes.
Mom.
Maybe I believed him too.
Mom.
He
don't
would say it
know.
in front of you. You probably didn't even know what he was talking about. Because you didn't even watch the movie. So.
Yeah, I probably didn't know. Because I would have said, John, why are you saying that?
So my point is, when we found out it was a lie, he was laughing.
He thought it was so funny.
But I was
devastated, bro.
Yeah, we were like,
that's a shame.
that's messed.
Yeah.
I was so, because I never experienced that before. So I didn't even have the mind to like comprehend that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because we would always ask him about it, like, when are we getting the hoverboards? Like, when's this happening? And he would always like, oh, we're working on it. Oh, you're going to get them. You know, he would keep it going. He would keep it going for probably like a good year. He kept it going. And then finally told us the truth. And like, he was cracking up, laughing.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
That is.
But and then it's like, all right, I can't trust anything you say now.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly. It changed.
Yeah.
But see, that's the Santa Claus dynamic.
Yeah, it is.
That's the Santa Claus dynamic that we always talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's not that traumatic with Santa Claus, because you wait until your kids are older and they kind of get it a little bit more. So once they find out, like, yeah, they're a little bit disappointed, maybe.
Unless you're Johnny.
Yeah.
Unless you're Johnny.
But I'm saying all this because imagine people telling their kids
yes,
at these young ages that you can be whatever you want.
Jazz Jennings,
you know,
bro.
You can be a girl and you're a boy.
Yeah.
You're born a boy, but
that's child
we're
abuse.
not assigning
Man.
gender.
Yeah. That's child abuse.
It is. It's trauma.
Like, it's trauma.
It's trauma.
He traumatized y'all.
And then you have parents that are narcissists, and they how many especially a lot of women, how many parents wanted a boy or wanted a girl, right? But they got a boy, so they're like, but imagine that, like, now they're just gonna make them whatever they wanted, right?
Yep.
So you say you're doing it for your kid, but really they're finding, that's another thing, they're finding out a lot of these parents that are going crazy with this
Munchausen by proxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got
or extreme narcissism.
Yeah. They got issues, right? The parents have especially a lot of the moms have mental issues.
Yeah.
So, and this stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
Where it can go. And we got to realize, like, I know people think, you know, Tanya's kids, oh, there's nothing wrong with believing in Santa Claus. But, but when you're not serious, like, why not? There's so much good in the world. There's so many things to look forward to in the world. Why not tell your kids the truth about this thing and that thing and get them ready for the things that they're going to have to face in this world?
Mm-hmm. Yo, Jesus said, let your yes mean yes and
your
your
no
mean
mean
no.
Mm-hmm.
That means don't be lying about Santa in the snow. Paul said, young lion gender. Courtney said, I identify as a young lion. I'm thankful to be a part of this community. We're thankful for you too, Courtney.
Yes,
Shout out to Courtney. Thayer said 1985. Did it come out in 1985?
I don't think so.
I think the first one came out in 1985, right? The first one.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Let me see. Before we go off, Back to the Future, 1989.
1989. Yep, you were 8. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. No, you were 10. 89.
Yeah,
well,
no,
probably
I was 9.
You were 9, about to be 10. Yeah, I was 8. Okay. Yeah, man, we were little, bro.
Still, that's little, man.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah,
and
man.
they still ain't come out with no hoverboards.
They still
bro.
can't come up with that technology.
Come on, man.
Bro. You see,
they got the wheels.
Yeah,
they suck.
They got the little one over the water that shoots the water out.
Oh yeah.
They got that one. Yeah.
You always wait for it. Like, are they ever gonna do
one?
It?
Yeah, eventually, no, they're not. Just like flying cars from the Jetsons, right? We swore, dude. I used to draw pictures of flying cars when I was little. I swore we would have flying cars by now. Nope.
I saw. I think it was on Twitter. It was like a big. They said flying car, but it was like a big drone.
No. Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff out there. I don't know if they like keep this stuff, from progressing in certain ways.
Yeah,
like
maybe because people are so bad at driving. Like, why would you want people in the air?
The impact on certain industries as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors to it.
Air traffic control. Dude, have y'all been seeing all this weird alien stuff lately? Like what?
Yeah,
they're up to something.
They're up to something. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're giving people these things here and there. Oh, I saw a spacecraft crash. Oh, the body.
No, but there was the one where the dude called 911.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So
that was like in Texas, right?
Yeah, I think it was in California. Was it in Texas? I thought it was in California.
I don't know.
Vegas?
It might have been. I don't know.
I was watching something where a guy had been documenting a bunch of people who, like, he would go to people's houses. He would go document people who had actual like alien encounter or UFO encounters.
Yeah.
Right. Or abductions.
Yeah.
And he said, like, well, there were a lot that were fake, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then he said usually the ones that were real, somebody was either had been delving in occult practices, or they were around it, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, remember John D, where he thought he thought he was talking to aliens at first, and then he realized he was talking to he changed it up and said he was talking to angels, and then it was these ain't angels, and then that's when he like started going crazy. Leisha Williams said, I thought we were supposed to have flying cars in 2000. Then we graduated and no flying cars. Yeah, I know. All we got was Y2K scares in 2000. Remember that? The whole world was going to end because the 00 was going to reset. Like, what?
People were having parties on rooftops.
Yeah. Courtney said the disappointment was real. And Lisa Sloan said Vegas. Yeah, it wasn't Vegas. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there, man. Thank you guys for watching. This was a fun episode. We got to talk about a lot of stuff going on. If you guys do want to support what we're doing and you want to keep spreading the pride of the young lion so we can all identify as young lions and, join the pride, you can go to patreon.com/youngliontv and sign up for one of the tiers over there. Also, we have a merch store. I'm wearing one of the shirts right here. Oh, bam. And Moan has on the Jatan t-shirt over there. So you can go to the links in the description and check out our merch store. And also, if you want to just throw some meat to the lions, you can hit us on the Cash App. It's $YoungLionTV. But the most important thing for you to do is to hit that like button and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Also, if you're on Rumble, hit that Rumble button. And on Facebook, share the video so that we can continue to grow this thing. Thanks to everybody who's new here, who's been catching us from the reels. Please check us out every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Hopefully the rest of the guys will be back next week. But, next week I'm out of town. So, we're going to be off next week, guys. So, we're going to miss a week, but we'll be back the following week after that. But we appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. and we will see you next time. Peace.
Go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Going